your work sold for $69 million. Put you in the top 3 most valuable living artists in the world.
It's not something, in my opinion, to discount.
People think, oh, it's just a picture, but that picture can be a lot more.
And it's really going to create like an entire new creative renaissance through the blockchain.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
We are going to talk about NFTs in this video. And wait, before I lose you, private space companies are even getting involved in this, and we'll get to that in a second. I have tried to avoid these for quite some time. However, it really piqued my interest when I went climbing a few months ago, and I met a very young climber who's still in college, and he was telling me that he started investing in NFTs with only a couple $1,000s, and I don't want to put how much he's making out there, but basically he has accumulated 3 Board Apes. Those are worth a lot of money, and has enough now where he wouldn't have to work again if he didn't want to.
$600,000 probably was the most expensive NFT I bought, and that was a rare Board Ape. So I think the Board Ape had like laser eyes or something.
Wait, what? Say that again.
Yeah, so I bought a rare Board Ape. And so the Board Apes here, I can show you actually.
Oh no, I heard you. I'm just jaw dropped.
Oh, yeah.
So first of all, I was very impressed by that. But lately, I'm seeing NFTs all over the place. I mean, look at this article from not too long ago. Private X-1 astronauts on the SpaceX capsule to mint NFT artwork in space. So already we see that Axiom Space is getting involved in this NFT space. They want to be a part of the Web3 space community. They have some NFTs that are up for auction right now. And actually, even if you read about their utility, they seem to have some value. You can get not just the NFT, the non-fungible token, you can get an exclusive print, an in-person studio visit, an astronaut dinner for the holder, VIP ticket to an Axe-2 launch. Hello, I might have to get this one. VIP ticket to an Axe-2 party, voting on future mission patch design, early access to future drops. So why am I telling you all of this? Well, I was thinking, why would you buy an NFT if you don't get anything in return other than this, thing that you could basically screenshot? But the more that I've looked into it, it seems like something that we could see a lot more of in the future. Maybe as a way to get into exclusive parties and events by just showing your NFT as kind of a membership token.
I think what's more important than maybe what an NFT is why an NFT. Why do this? I mean, so many people think it's stupid or they just don't even want to get involved, and it's kind of changed your life.
Yeah. A lot of people think, well, crypto in general is like a scam or is, not worth getting into. And I think for people that, don't understand crypto, it's going to be a little bit more difficult to understand NFTs because obviously most NFTs are built on, these, blockchains, right? A common, argument against NFTs is, well, I'm just gonna screenshot your NFT, right? I'm just gonna take a picture of it, and now it's mine.
Right.
And I think to that, I could take a picture of, your Maserati, but then it's not mine, right? Or I can take a picture. A better example would be I can take a picture of the Mona Lisa. I don't own the Mona Lisa. I can't sell that picture, or I can't trade that picture of the Mona Lisa because it's not mine. It's just a picture of the original artwork. That's one of the big things people think. Oh, it's just a picture, but that picture can be a lot more. So I think more and more we're seeing these, event access passes and, free food or different merch or things like that are token gated to where you have to own the NFT to actually, go to the event or purchase the item and things like that. And I think that's the technology that's cool about NFTs, and that's where I hope the future of NFTs go.
Now, of course, I wanted to turn to the sage wisdom from Dave Lee about NFTs. Here's his take on it.
What's going on with these NFTs? I feel like this is something that's like hot, like we're talking about, and big, and I don't want to miss out on it, but is it a fad?
Yeah. So I'll give you 2 answers, and I'll try to help you understand this, and so I think you'll get it. So basically, NFTs, non-fungible tokens, they're basically just a way to claim ownership of a digital asset. Okay, so let's say, someone had a painting or a book they wrote or something, and they wanted to sell like the original copy of it or something. And typically you just send a file to a person, but then that person can like copy the file, and it's like, who knows who has the original file, etc. But if you had a way to forever put into a kind of a log, in a sense, a journal, who that owner or the original owner is and who he gave it to, he or she gave that, let's say, book or painting to, and no one can change that journal, and that journal would live forever, right? Then you would always know who the true owner of that book, of the original copy of that book was, right? So fundamentally, that would be a better way to decide ownership of something, especially digital, right? That could be easily copied. And so that's kind of the concept, I think, of NFTs explained, where it's like, oh, okay, it's just a fundamentally better way to understand and to have ownership of some type of digital asset. Now, here's why NFTs work and why they take off, is because we're on this trajectory where everything in this world can be, eventually you'll be able to trade it, and you'll be able to trade ownership of it. For example, let's say, you have something, anything, it's like that ownership of that could be put onto this digital journal. And then you could say, okay, I don't own it anymore, I'm going to transfer it to someone else. Right. And then that person could be the rightful owner of that. But this can happen for almost anything and everything in the world. And the big transformation is that's never been done before. We've only done it for big things like houses and cars to get registered or something, but we've never done it on a scale that's like 1,000 times or 1,000,000 times more than what we're doing right now. So that's what the world of NFTs or blockchain opens up, where it's like now it's ownership times 1,000,000, where you can own a lot more things, and you could trade and you can sell things that you never could do before. And through the buying and selling of things, that's the thing. The foundation of an economy is the buying and selling, the trading of goods, where that creates some value when two people trade something, because they're getting something that they didn't have before, and they're trading something that they didn't want or they had excess of, and so both parties benefit. And so in the same way, if you do a hyper kind of trading economy where 1,000,000 times more things are traded and people are benefiting, then it creates a lot more economic activity. That's like the hope and the bull case of NFTs. Right? Is it will transform ownership, transform trading, buying and selling, create a ton of economic activity. What we're seeing right now is the top of the first inning right now, with kind of artists coming out and people, creating stuff and selling stuff. And what the thing about this stuff is it's supply demand driven, meaning if there are like 1,000 people that want this one thing, they can bid it up pretty high until you get one person who bids the highest. It's like an auction. And so what you have is this crazy global auction happening for all these crazy assets that were never able to be proven or given ownership so quickly, and buying and selling. And this is happening like across millions and millions of objects and things. And it's creating this immense amount of activity. And overall, like the question is this sustainable though? Like, are people like overpaying? And that's the thing. Yeah. If the demand goes down and the 1,000 people don't want that thing as much, then the price is going to crash to the price that one person wants it. So a thing that costs like $10,000 can be $5 the next day if there's only one person who wants to pay $5, and that's the highest bidder, right? So it's something that is very, very volatile, but it's not something, in my opinion, to discount, because it's laying the foundation of an entire like paradigm of ownership and economic activity that we've never seen before and has massive, massive potential. And so I expect actually crazy highs and crazy lows and crazy, mania up and crazy depression down, like, and just craziness. But in the end, we're going to have a completely foundational different world that we live in. And I don't even know if in the end it'll be called NFTs. I think it'll be much more integrated and much more kind of just like, I don't know. I think there'll be more and more killer use cases that won't even seem techie or complicated to understand. It'll just be like, but that's like the eventual evolution. But it's interesting though to get to just to try to get the basic ideas now so that when you watch this unfold, you can say, oh, that's what's happening,
Right.
It's just,
Is it something that you yourself plan to partake in, or?
I'm nibbling in it. I see a lot of risk in a lot of ways. So like, I put some money into this game called Axie Infinity, which is basically kind of like a Pokemon game where each character is an NFT that you own. And when you own some of the token, you basically own a part ownership of the game. It's kind of like stock in a sense. So I put some money into it and it went up like 7-8x within 3 or 4 months. So I was like, whoa. And then I recently took off half of it because it's just like a bit shaky, everything right now. I wanted to take some profits off, but I'm kind of like with crypto, I would say I'd like to be a bottom feeder where I think things go in very like extreme cycles. Right. And I like it when things are like people are just, there's blood on the streets, in a sense where people are just like so depressed with crypto and everyone has lost, all their money and and that's when I'm like, now is the time to buy because I see the future and the vision of what's going to happen. It's bullish, but a lot of people, when they look at crypto, they're looking just at the price. They go, oh, I'm bullish on crypto because it's gone up. But that's not the true vision of crypto, the price. The true vision of crypto is more of a freer world, of a world where ownership and transactions are more efficient and can be done, and the whole world's economic activity can be just like tremendously grown at a fast pace. Right. That's the vision, but most people are in it just because the price is going up, right? Yeah. And they think it's going to go up. So when the price crashes and then everyone's like, crypto is dead. It's actually the wild, wild west right now. Anyone and everyone is trying to like get into, this stuff. And it's almost like, it's kind of hard to determine the winner. Everyone thinks that they know the winner right now, but it's so early on. It's just like, it's hard to tell.
While I was doing my research about NFTs for this video, I crossed paths with an artist, Jonah, and he actually makes NFTs that are specific to SpaceX and Tesla, which I think is pretty cool.
And it's definitely like the Wild West right now with how volatile the markets are for NFTs.
Right. And I think that's part of the reason why people criticize it, but also I think a lot of people don't understand it. So maybe tell me a little bit about why you're even interested in this space, how you got into it.
So I'm an artist, and I started from a young age actually in the fine art world, growing up in New York, and participated in many gallery shows in Long Island and New York, and work in acrylic painting and also interactive art installations, and also being from pretty young age, like when I was getting involved in the art world, I was also very interested in like entrepreneurship and following tech trends. And that was around the time when I really discovered Elon and Tesla. And after going on a road trip, I decided I should go all in and invest all the money that I've been making from selling artworks and put it all into Tesla stock. And that was kind of a life-changing decision, just because it got me to, follow every earnings call and start watching all the Tesla YouTubers, read Elon Musk biography and just like learn about how this company is changing the world, and learn about the sustainable energy revolution. And that also sort of later on forlayed into, following all these Tesla influencers and technologists who then, this Tesla world started merging with the crypto world. And last year, as the NFT market started going crazy and people had his record-breaking sale, and it's kind of amazing because 2 years ago it was very almost extremely niche, and then last year I'm pretty sure it went to over a $25 billion a year market and sort of came out of nowhere. And, as an artist who's also passionate about technology, I was like, I need to, get involved in this world and see how I can bring my art practice into the NFT world in a way, like in the same way that I think that I see Tesla and electric vehicles changing the whole car industry and changing how we use energy. I see NFTs as changing the entire creative industry, from music to fine art to films to anything where people are, coming up with some type of creative output. Seeing that vision come to life through the Cybertruck, I was like thinking of a way that I could create an artwork that is inspired by this iconic symbol of this sustainable energy revolution. And yes, I had like some different designs, and then I decided to turn the Cybertruck on its side so that it looks almost like a creature, where the wheel should be is an open mouth, and different iterations can be created to come up with different characters through the Cybertruck design. There's definitely a bit of a gold rush and a bit of crazy speculation, and it's possible that many of the NFT projects or many of the projects that are going up massively in a short period of time could crash. And that's already happened with many projects, that the market has been very volatile. But I believe that the underlying technology is going to be an integral part of the creative industries and disrupt how they work, and it's really going to create like an entire new creative renaissance through the blockchain.
If all of this blockchain talk has you confused, you can turn to Brilliant for an extremely interactive course that will help you learn more. The cryptocurrency course helps you learn how cryptographic primitives power the blockchain and cryptocurrencies. As many of us know, cryptocurrencies represent a fundamentally new way for people to exchange goods and services. They're powered by blockchains. Those are data structures that are enabled by cryptographically secured hash functions. Now, in this course, you'll learn about the math and technology behind cryptocurrencies through interactive hands-on puzzles. You'll also explore the mechanics of maintaining and securing a cryptocurrency so that you can decide for yourself if cryptocurrencies are a passing fad or the next big thing. The best way to learn anything is by doing it yourself. You can learn interactively with Brilliant's hands-on lessons in math, science, and computer science. Interactive learning helps you learn 6 times more effectively than just listening to lecture videos. And get started for free. Join the millions of people already learning on Brilliant with a special offer. Head to brilliant.org/EllianSpace. There you can get started for free with Brilliant's interactive lessons, and the first 200 listeners will also get 20% off an annual membership.
You don't think NFTs are going anywhere?
No, I actually think NFTs are going to be a lot bigger in the next few years. Well, I think a lot of venues and different events will have NFTs that go along with those events that will then be traded in the future as a sort of like, memorabilia kind of thing.
We could have had one for Cyber Rodeo.
Exactly, like you could have had one for Cyber Rodeo, and then you would own that, and you could trade it around, if someone else wants that little token,
But instead I have a wristband.
Exactly, right, but instead you have a wristband, which is cool as well. You could take the wristband, but if you're going to try and trade the wristband, or if you want to use the wristband to say, 10 years from now, they have another Cyber Rodeo or something, and they want to let everybody who went to that last one 10 years ago, that's still active in the community, say they want to let them go for free or give them a discount or something because they had been 10 years ago. Well, people aren't going to be scrounging up their wristbands from 10 years ago, but if you have your NFT in your wallet that never goes anywhere, and stays there forever on the blockchain, you can use that for something like that. So I think the possibilities are really endless, and I guess that goes into the second point of why a lot of people think they're like scams and stuff like that, is because a lot of these NFTs aren't being used for anything cool yet, right? And so other than maybe like the Board Apes and a very few other, you know, NFTs, and most of those NFTs are, you know, out of the price range for your average consumer or, you know, someone who wants to get into this. They don't do anything, right? They're just a picture. And so like the screenshot argument works pretty well, right? If they're not doing anything, they don't give you access to anything, then like what's the point for a lot of them, you know? And they also don't have that collectability aspect of the Pokemon cards, right? So for like the Board Apes, you kind of have both, right? You have like, you know, that collectability. People want the rare ones. They're going to pay more for the golden ones, things like that. And then you also have the access. It's a token that allows you to go to these events and buy merch. You know, they had NFT NYC about, I think it was like 5 months ago. And you could basically get in for free and go to all these cool events. Like Chris Rock was there, Lil Baby was there, you know, all these celebrities were there, and you could go for free if you had a Board Ape. And all you had to do was just like basically prove it, connect your, you know, wallet, your virtual wallet, and show them, look, I own this NFT, and boom, you're in, which is really cool. I didn't buy my first NFT, I think, until August, but I was like looking around in the space for a few months beforehand, and I was interested in it, but I didn't want to put money in until I was sure that it was something I actually wanted to, you know, get into. So
how did you hear about it?
So I heard about it from a buddy of mine. He was creating art, and this is kind of on the other side of NFTs. There's a lot of different kinds of NFTs. The previous ones I was talking about, like the Board Apes and things, those are collections of usually a set number. So 10,000 is pretty common, and there's never going to be more of them. So of these 10,000 apes, that's all you have, right? Well, art is a whole different kind of subset of NFTs, and I had a buddy of mine from high school who was creating art NFTs, and I thought, that's interesting. Like, you know, why should I buy it on the blockchain instead of just buying the physical thing? And he was telling me that it's actually both. And so you buy the NFT and you get the physical piece of art. And I thought, that's actually really cool. And so I bought one from him, I think, just, you know, a piece of his art. I really liked his art. And then didn't really think much of it for like a month, kind of just had it sitting in my wallet. And then he started a collection, you know, like a set number, like 10,000, I think. It was his art in this collection, kind of like a randomly generated thing. And I kind of got into that. That was my first little like NFT experience. And then from there, I kind of just dove in, I guess, head first and put some of my money that I had saved up from just working and doing other things into some of the more, you know, blue chip NFTs, which were the bigger ones at the time.
And so, it's changed your life. I mean, like, you don't have to tell us how much you make, but like, it's changed your life. Yeah,
it's absolutely changed my life. I think after college, I don't really know. I think I'm gonna just play it by, you know, by ear and see how things go. I think, as you know, anybody who follows crypto knows, you know, the markets go up and down and up and down, and so I think for the NFT market to become more stable, we need to see basically, you know, more use come from them, I think, because again, a lot of people don't see the point. Why should I invest in something like this, where, you know, you're investing in a company, right, like Tesla or something like that. You're directly betting on that company, right, to, you know, make more money and succeed. And so I think for NFTs, a lot of people don't really see that is still happening. By buying one of the NFTs, you're betting on the team behind the NFT to, you know, do well, basically. Right. And a lot of the NFTs that we're seeing right now just don't do anything. They have no purpose, and there's no collectability to them. I'd love to take this full time, and I want to, like, you know, keep, you know, building in like the Web3 NFT space. But for that to happen, I think we need to see a little bit more stability before I can take it full time, I guess.
So because it's so volatile, you've taken some money out, but the rest of it you're kind of holding or
Yeah, I think I started with respectively to what I have, you know, kind of amassed now in my collection, a relatively small amount of money. And I really believe in the long-term, you know, usage of NFTs, as you can probably tell. And so most of the money that I've made in NFTs is still in NFTs. I have taken some out to, you know, pay for my college education. It's a lot of money, and you just, you know, gotta be humble about it and try and, you know.
Is it crazy that it's like real money and like this is actually like just something you stumbled upon? Like, do people think you're crazy, or your parents
definitely.
or your friends?
I think everybody kind of thinks I'm crazy when I tell them about like what I'm doing and like the amount of money I'm keeping in this like ecosystem. You know, I'm young, and you know what they say, you got to take risks when you're young, and so I think I'm taking the risks. Right. And I really do believe in this. So I think a lot of people think I'm crazy, but hey, a lot of people thought, you know, the people that were getting into Bitcoin back in like 2013 and 2014, you know, people thought those people were crazy. Why would you buy, you know, Bitcoin? It doesn't do anything. You can't do anything with it, right? Some people still think that, right? Some people still think, oh, Bitcoin's useless, right? There's no value to it. You can't really do anything other than sell it, right? You're just buying, you know, it's a Ponzi, more or less, right? You're buying something in hopes that other people buy it so you can sell it for a profit, and so you can make money, right? And I think that's one of the coolest things about NFTs as well, is they kind of add, you know, a layer to the cryptocurrency world. Until now, there hasn't really been, you know, a good thing to purchase with crypto. That's where NFTs kind of come into play as well. And I think they add that like, tangibility aspect to crypto, which I think is also really cool. Basically what I do is, you know, this is the main marketplace. It's called OpenSea. And a lot of what I do is I just look for, you know, new, you know, upcoming NFTs, and I look for, you know, what NFTs I think are building something, right? Like I just mentioned, a lot of these NFTs have no use and they're just a picture. Well, that's not interesting to me. That doesn't do anything for me, right? I'm not really in the game to, you know, collect Pokemon cards. If I was gonna do something like that, well, I would be buying art because I like art, right? So I don't really care about Pokemon cards, but I do care about the use that they might have, right? So like I'm trying to find like the next Board Apes, I guess. And so I'll look through the NFTs here. You can go to like, you know, these are the popular ones. If you go to like the rankings here, and you can look at the top charts for these NFTs and see, this is Nike's NFT. Nike actually purchased this NFT. They look like this. And you know, I think those are pretty cool. These are the Mutant Apes. This was the very first one that I ever bought. Remember, it was like 3 Ethereum back then. Now they're a bit pricier at 25. 1 ETH is about $3,300 right now. And so 25 ETH is $82,050.
Oh my God.
The most expensive NFT that I've bought, it's gotta be an ape, one of the apes I bought. I think I bought an ape for 200 ETH, just about 200 ETH. And at the time, I think Ethereum was a little bit lower, around $2,000, maybe $3,000 or so. So $600,000 probably was the most expensive NFT I bought. And that was a rare Board Ape. So I think the Board Ape had like laser eyes or something.
Wait, what? Say that again.
Yeah, so I bought a rare Board Ape. And so the Board Apes here, I can show you actually.
Oh no, I heard you. I'm just jaw dropped.
Oh, yeah. I bought this ape about 2 months ago, and I sold it to somebody, a bigger collector, you know, just like a couple weeks later for about 220 Ethereum. So I kind of flipped it. So flipped it for $60,000 profit, or 10%. And so there's some NFTs that I hold long term, and then some that I quick flip, things like that. The ones that I usually sell or I flip are ones that, you know, the team's not doing very much with them, or I don't really think they have a long-term potential, things like that. This Board Ape, I got a good offer on. Somebody offered me a lot more than I had just paid, so I was like, you know, sure, I'll sell this one and buy a different one instead. But I do hold 2 Board Apes, and I've held those 2 Board Apes for 5 months or 6 months now. So those ones are kind of just stashed away in the vault, and don't really plan on selling those anytime soon. It's definitely something worth looking into. If you're curious about, you know, digital collectibles, if you're curious about, you know, tokenized access, you know, just do your own research. That's the biggest thing, you know. I spent probably a month or 2 just looking at NFTs, not buying anything. I didn't have any money in my account, and I didn't put any money in until I really knew what was happening. You know, what is gas? You know, what are discords? What is a mint? All these different things that, like, you know, you have to really dive in a little bit and know what you're doing, or you could lose a lot of money as well. And I think that's just, you know, the risk you're taking with crypto in general.
Are most people receptive to this conversation?
Like, I don't talk to people about NFTs very often, just because there is a lot of like hate that goes around, and
skepticism.
Yeah, skepticism, I guess. It's really not hate. It's more of skepticism. People think, you know, why should I do this? And the people I've like talked to that are interested in it and that like think it's, you know, cool, a lot of them have been receptive, you know, to this conversation. But, you know, some of the, you know, more old school investors, things like that, you know, have been a little bit less receptive, I think, and they're the ones that are more hesitant to purchase these things, and for good reason. I mean, they saw crypto drop 80%, you know, back in, when was that, 2014 or something like that, where we, you know, we saw these crazy numbers back then. You know, Bitcoin was like $2,000 or something and dropped to like 300, you know, and so it's good to be skeptical, I think, but it's also good to look into these kind of things, you know, when you have the opportunity. I like to look into anything I'm curious about.
Yeah, what's your game plan? You're gonna graduate, but you're not necessarily gonna go into the field you're studying right away. Yeah,
so I study petroleum engineering here at UT, and there's a good chance I don't go to work, but there's a chance I still do. I think it really just depends on, you know, where the market is, and so I think I'm gonna finish my education. That's like the number one goal. And then once I finish that, I'll kind of just, you know, see how the market's doing, see how things are, and hopefully I'll be able to do this full time in the future.
Are you scared that it could go down like tomorrow?
Scared? No, I'm not scared. Do I think it's possible? Yes, absolutely. And that's the name of the game with crypto. Anyone who's been in crypto for like more than, you know, a couple years even knows that crypto is extremely volatile. Now put an even more volatile something that's on top of something that's already volatile, then you're asking for it to like be crazy, you know? But I wouldn't say I'm scared, just because my initial investment was relatively small. And I think as long as your initial investment is something you can afford to lose, then you shouldn't be scared. And if your initial investment isn't something you can afford to lose, you probably shouldn't be investing that in the first place. Right. It's a whole different world, you know. Like, I remember back when I was first getting into it, projects would start minting, which just means you can create one of your own. And a project would start minting, and it might take days or even weeks to sell out. Now, any popular mint sells out in like instantly, basically, just because there's so many more people that want to find the next Board Apes or something like that. They want to get in early. I wake up, you know, and check my portfolio and check the markets and talk to like the communities that I'm in, and it's fun. You know, I have a lot of friends and stuff that I've met through this, you know, through NFTs on these Discord groups that I'm in. And I enjoy doing it a lot. I enjoy trading it. I enjoy talking to these people. And I think that's another big thing that people don't see, is that like the communities is great. You know, there's a big community aspect to it. Just do your own research. I can't stress that enough. Don't just go, if you're gonna buy an NFT, you really gotta like, you know, look at the markets for like a month or 2 months even before you put your investment in, because, you know, it's very, very easy to lose money in this market. And, you know, I'm talking about it, you know, I've had success in this market, so you might think, you know, oh, it's really easy, you know, all you got to do is just buy up and then you're going to be rich. But I think a lot of people make that mistake and just lose money and think, oh, it's not for me, you know. But in reality, you didn't spend any time looking into the communities. You didn't go on Twitter or you didn't go on Discord and interact with these communities before actually, you know, buying them. And I think people don't understand that aspect of NFTs until they've already bought them, right? And so I would just make sure you do your own research before buying any NFTs or any crypto, anything, basically.
For some people, these just sound like a fad. For others, they are truly life-changing. But it's really interesting to see not just artists getting involved, but you even have private space companies now jumping on the bandwagon. And this is not financial advice in any way whatsoever. This is just me being curious, because I'm a journalist and I have an insatiable curiosity, and just seeing some paths cross with this new space of NFTs, literally crossing with space-related things. I just wanted to start a discussion about this. So I want to know from you, have you invested in NFTs? And even beyond that, do you invest in crypto? Is that even something that you believe in? I hope that you enjoyed this video. If you did, please make sure to give it a like. If you're not already subscribed to Ellie in Space, please make sure to do that. And hey, I will see you soon.